In a world just overflowing with information, with choices,
Mm.
where does a business find something that, really lasts, something durable?
That's the million-dollar question today, isn't it? The old thinking was, well, your edge is your product, maybe your price.
Right.
But more and more, the real advantage isn't just getting customers to buy once. It's about building something much deeper, a community, a vibrant, loyal, really active group around your brand.
Exactly. And that's what we're digging into today. We're doing a deep dive, pulling insights from Swiss economist Dr. Pooyan Ghamari, specifically his article, From Customers to Community, the New Business Imperative.
Yeah, and our mission here is to unpack why this shift, from just a customer making a purchase to an engaged community member, why that's so critical right now.
What does it look like?
What it looks like, and crucially, the source gives us a blueprint, a clear kind of actionable plan on how you can actually make this happen for your own thing, your business, your project.
So get ready for maybe some aha moments. This deep dive, I think, really gets to the heart of where lasting value comes from in business today. Okay, let's unpack this first bit. Dr. Ghamari's article, it starts pretty strong. Saying the old way, just selling stuff to customers. It's over. Why? Why is that model dying?
Well, think about the world we're in. Markets are just so noisy, right?
Incredible.
Attention is, well, it's the scarcest resource. And tech, especially AI, it's making it easier for anyone to create a decent product or service. The old model kind of assumed, you make it, they buy it, maybe they stick around. Loyalty was almost an afterthought.
Right, an assumption. And that just doesn't fly anymore. Customers are different. They've got information at their fingertips. They're connected. They talk to each other. And honestly, they're skeptical.
Exactly. Skeptical is the word. And Dr. Ghamari makes this point clearly. Those purely transactional relationships, they're fragile, super easy to lose.
How so?
Someone offers a lower price, a slightly cooler feature, maybe just shouts louder with their marketing,
Okay.
and your customer vanishes. There's no real stickiness, nothing holding them there beyond the last transaction.
Zero stickiness. That's
Yeah.
that's a bit scary if that's all you have. So if the transaction isn't enough, what's the alternative the article pushes for?
This is the core idea. The source posits that turning those customers into a, quote, vibrant, self-sustaining community is actually the most defensible competitive advantage available now.
Most defensible.
Wow. Yeah. It's about shifting from just utility, what the product does, to building relationships based on meaning, on participation, on feeling like you belong to something.
Community as the new moat. I like that. It really clicks.
Yeah.
Because a community doesn't just buy. They do so much more, don't they?
Which brings us right to the next point.
Yeah.
What specifically does a thriving community bring to the table? What makes it such an advantage?
Well, the article lists some huge ones, things like deep loyalty, real advocacy people genuinely recommending you.
Yeah, and feedback. Constant, valuable feedback.
Resilience, too, when things get tough, and that kind of organic viral growth that you just can't replicate easily with ads.
Precisely. You can't just buy that level of engagement. A community, they contribute ideas, they support each other, answering questions, sharing tips. They become advocates, like real evangelists.
Because they feel part of it?
Exactly. They believe in the mission or the values or just the connection itself. It's not just about liking the product anymore.
It's like Dr. Ghamari says, the really successful brands today aren't just companies with customers. They're more like movements with members.
And he stresses this isn't just, some abstract theory. He points to a massive global trend, this explosion of digital micro-communities.
Everywhere, right.
Everywhere. DeFi, real estate groups, finance networks, even private wealth circles.
Yeah.
The game has changed. It's not just about product stacks anymore. It's a battle for depth of engagement, for the quality of the connection you build.
Okay, this is where it gets really practical and exciting. If community building is that important, the companies that master it now are basically setting themselves up to lead, right?
That's the argument. They're shaping the next decade.
So the big question everyone listening is probably asking is, how? How do you actually do it? And luckily, the source gives us an action plan.
Yes, the how-to, moving from the why to the what next.
Dr. Ghamari lays out a 5-step plan. He calls it field-tested. Let's walk through it step by step.
Okay, step 1. Create a private online group for your top 100 customers.
All right, the top 100. Why that specific group to start?
The thinking here, according to the source, is that this initial group creates the critical mass. They're likely your most engaged, maybe most vocal fans already.
The core group.
Exactly. Their early interactions, their behavior, the way they engage, that sets the tone. It shapes the culture for everyone who joins later.
Makes sense. And how does he suggest setting this up practically?
Meet them where they are. Choose a platform they already use. Could be Telegram, WhatsApp, Slack, Discord. Maybe even a private LinkedIn or Facebook group if that fits.
Yeah, okay.
But the key is the invitation. Make it exclusive, make it personal. And it's not just about picking who spends the most. Look for the loyal ones, the thoughtful ones, the ones already offering feedback.
And you have to nail the culture right away. Make it super clear. This isn't just another marketing channel for announcements.
Right. It's for connection, for mutual support, for members to feel they have real influence.
Influence, yeah.
And the source mentions a nice touch. A welcome ritual, like a quick personalized message from the founder or a key team member when someone joins. That little thing can really boost participation from day one.
Yeah, feeling seen. The article gives that Aland example, remember? Their early investor group wasn't just getting updates. It became like an internal lab.
A safe space for feedback.
Exactly. Honest feedback you might not get otherwise. And those early members, they became their first ambassadors.
Okay, step 2. Invite members to share their own stories and challenges.
This seems crucial. Why is getting members to share so important?
Because, well, community isn't passive, is it? It requires contribution. When people share their own stuff, their wins, their struggles, what they've learned, it builds trust. It builds empathy.
And that encourages others to jump in.
Precisely. It creates that virtuous cycle of sharing and connection.
So how do you get people comfortable sharing?
The source says, prompt with intention. Don't just say share something. Ask specific, relevant questions, like what's the biggest challenge you're facing with X? Or share a recent win and maybe one tip. Or what's one lesson learned the hard way?
Targeted prompts. And then you have to highlight the people who do share, right?
Absolutely essential. Feature their stories, get their permission first, obviously, but feature them. In a newsletter, on social, even just a shout out in the group. Recognition is like the currency of community.
It really is.
And authenticity from the top helps. Dr. Ghamari suggests leaders or founders can set the tone by sharing their own journey, maybe some vulnerability. Makes it feel safer for everyone else.
He mentions that cross-border real estate platform example again.
Yeah, where people started sharing stories about navigating tricky regulations or celebrating deals. It transformed them from just individuals into a real support network, helping each other out.
That's powerful stuff. Okay, step 3. Run monthly live Q&A sessions with founders or experts.
The article calls live interaction the heartbeat of a digital community.
The heartbeat. Yeah, I can see that.
It makes leadership feel accessible, not distant. And doing it regularly, like say the first Tuesday of every month, builds a habit. People know when to expect it.
And the focus has to be on member questions, right? Not just a presentation.
Definitely. Collect questions beforehand, maybe have a theme, but let the members drive the agenda. Answer them live. Allow for real interaction.
What about keeping it fresh?
Bring in outside experts sometimes. Someone relevant, maybe a legal expert, finance pro, industry analyst, adds value, different perspectives, and crucially, record these sessions.
Oh, good point. Build an archive.
Exactly. It becomes this amazing knowledge library over time. Huge value for new and existing members.
The source loops back to Aland here too, saying these sessions weren't just Q&A, they were getting real-time market intelligence.
Right. Hearing concerns directly, spotting misunderstandings, addressing issues bubbling up in the community before they became bigger problems.
Strategic value. Okay, step 4. Offer exclusive content, early access, or rewards.
This taps into that feeling of being special, being part of an inner circle. Communities thrive on
A
that.
sense of privilege, yeah. Makes the group feel indispensable. So how does the source suggest doing this?
Offer beta access. Let them try new features or products first. Give them exclusive content reports, data, insights nobody else gets.
Like insider info.
Exactly. And reward loyalty and contribution. Doesn't have to be huge. Points, badges, maybe small discounts, special invites, cool merchandise, tangible recognition.
And also just asking for their opinion, right? Solicit feedback on upcoming stuff, on strategy. Make them feel involved in the direction.
Yes, that's key. According to Dr. Ghamari, when you do this right, you're not just giving perks, you're turning members into co-creators.
Co-creators.
People who feel they have skin in the game, they become your most passionate advocates because they're proud of what they're helping build.
That's a big shift. Okay, final step. Step 5. Appoint community moderators from active members.
This one is all about making the community sustainable in the long run. So it doesn't just depend on the founder or the company team constantly driving everything.
Making it self-sustaining. How?
Empower your members. Identify those natural leaders within the group, the people already helping out, answering questions, mediating discussions
The
respectfully.
ones who just step up.
Yeah. Then formalize their role a bit. Give them clear guidelines, maybe some specific permissions or tools within the platform, and definitely recognize their contribution.
Recognition again. Maybe even compensation, depending on the scale.
Could be. The source suggests considering it. But the core idea is fostering ownership. Let them organize subgroups, run their own initiatives within the community.
And plan for the future.
Yes, Dr. Ghamari mentions succession planning. Rotate moderators, maybe? Bring in fresh perspectives. Keep it dynamic.
And the long-term payoff here. The source says these empowered members become more than just moderators.
They become your super advocates, your innovators bringing fresh ideas, and sometimes even your future employees. It's a talent pipeline, too.
Wow. Okay, so those are the 5 steps. If we zoom out again, connect this back to the big picture. What's the ultimate business payoff for doing all this work?
The article makes a strong case. It lists really tangible benefits. First, massively amplified loyalty, reduced churn. Engaged members just don't leave as easily.
Because they're connected.
Right. They feel like they belong. Then there's that viral growth we talked about. Happy community members become your best referral source. High-quality leads, basically zero cost.
And the market intelligence piece.
Invaluable. Spotting trends, catching issues early, understanding customer needs directly from the source, unfiltered, way faster than traditional market research often.
Plus resilience. That buffer when things get rocky.
Exactly. In tough times, the community supports each other, supports the company. It acts like a shock absorber.
And the source even mentions influencing policy.
Yeah, a large, organized, vocal community can actually advocate for change, whether it's industry standards or even regulation. It positions the company as a leader with real backing.
The article gives those examples across different sectors, too, showing it's not just tech.
Right, the real estate investors pooling resources, the finance folks sharing strategies, the immigration groups trading practical advice.
It works because it taps into something fundamental.
Exactly. It proves community isn't just a soft, nice-to-have. Dr. Ghamari frames it as a core foundation for, well, sustainable growth and genuine resilience in this crazy, fast-changing world.
So, wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway for you, the listener?
I think Dr. Ghamari's conclusion is really powerful. He argues pretty strongly that the company's set to dominate the future. They won't just have the best tech or the biggest budget. They'll have the most loyal, the most engaged, the most empowered communities.
It really reframes what long-term success looks like, doesn't it?
It does. And that final thought he leaves us with in the source, it's quite something. He says, by building community, you're not just creating customers.
You're creating a legacy.
A legacy.
Wow. Definitely something to chew on as you think about how you connect with your own audience, your customers, your members today.